This week, we're going through the Gateway Intermediate Workbook, which is essentially a step-by-step guide by the Monroe Institute of Applied Sciences for undergoing the Gateway process. If you haven't done so yet, I recommend that you go watch this series before you watch this video, because otherwise a lot of stuff just won't make sense. If you're new here, I'm Zayna, and I explain things, not usually in lipstick, but was feeling myself today. So if you'd like me to explain more things to you, hit that subscribe button and tap that notification bell to stay updated. And finally, if you would like to listen to the Gateway tapes yourself or just read this paper yourself, the links are in the description below. So this paper not only has one, but two affirmations to say before you start the Gateway tapes and the Gateway process. And surprisingly, neither of these affirmations are the affirmation that was mentioned in the last series that I did. The first affirmation says, say in your mind, say to yourself, I am more than my physical body. Because I am more than physical matter, I can perceive that which is greater than the physical world. Therefore, in these exercises, I deeply desire to expand, to experience, to know, to understand, to control, to use such greater energies and energy systems as may be beneficial and constructive to me and those who follow me. Also, during these exercises, I deeply desire the help and cooperation, the assistance, the understanding of those individuals whose wisdom, development, and experience is equal or greater than my own. I ask their guidance and protection from any influence or any source that might provide me with less than my stated desires. I now protect myself as may be needed from such influence and reject any source that may restrain me from my stated desires. As you can see, this affirmation has a lot of similar elements to the affirmation that I read at the end of this video, but it clearly has a lot more phrasing oriented towards the exercise that the reader is about to do. The second affirmation says, I open this channel of communication only to those whose knowledge, wisdom, development, and experience is equal or greater than my own. I restrict such contact and communication to constructive purpose and reject all other. I open such channel only when I so consciously desire. At all other times, it will remain closed. Again, this shorter affirmation has similar elements to the original affirmation, but it looks like this one is specifically for making sure that whoever or whatever they encounter in the astral plane is a good entity and not an evil one. Okay, so this first portion of the paper is called the Gateway Notes and basically begins by telling the reader that before they start listening to the tapes or undergoing the Gateway process, that they might want to refer to these notes for each exercise session. However, it does say that ultimately these notes should be guidelines rather than strict rules, and that the user of these notes should bring their own ideas and ingenuity to make the process their own. The first section of Gateway Notes is called As You Start Each Exercise and is broken into 3 parts. The first thing that we're told to do is the resonant breathing exercise. To do this, you inhale deeply, pulling in energy from all parts of your physical body up and then into your head. Next, hold your breath for as long as you feel comfortable, with the goal of eventually holding it for a count of 10, swirling the energy around your brain. Then exhale through your mouth slowly, as if blowing out a candle. While you're exhaling, imagine you're releasing stale, used up energy from the bottoms of your feet. Once you inhale and exhale once, your brain is filled with completely new, fresh, and beautiful energy. When you start this process over for a second time, imagine you're bringing this new energy into your upper chest and arms, and exhale all of the stale energy from there one more time. The third time that you repeat this process, bring the energy into your abdomen, and then on the 4th, push it into your pelvis, on the 5th, to your thighs and knees, and finally on the 6th, to your lower legs and feet. Remember, you are supposed to make this practice your own, so if you would like, you can instead imagine energy coming into your body, filling you up from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, as quickly or as slowly as you'd like as you continue to breathe. Subsection 2 of As You Start Each Exercise is to place all your problems and distractions in the security repository box. If you've listened to the orientation tape of the Gateway tapes, which is again listed in the description, you already know what this box is. You're clearing your head of everything that doesn't serve you in order to undergo the Gateway process and listen to these tapes with your full attention. Subsection 3 is to say the affirmation while bringing back your strong desire to expand yourself and explore, know, understand, and control the non-physical energies most beneficial for you and those around you. And remember, it's important to feel the words as well, not just to recite them. I'm not really sure which affirmation it's referring to here, so we're gonna assume that it's the OG Gateway affirmation, which should be on screen right here. If you'd like to read the affirmation, you can pause the video right now. So to summarize, as you start each exercise, there are 3 things that you need to do: your resonant breathing techniques, Dump all your problems into your SRB, and not only say your affirmations, but feel them. The next section is to reach focus 10 from consciousness number 1, which is also known as C1. These are the steps that you can take to achieve focus 10. First, relax deeply in a lying down or sitting position, and feel yourself drift into relaxation. When you've drifted as much as you think you can, when you exhale, say the number 2 to yourself and notice that you drift away a little more. If this drifting does not occur immediately, that's okay. Once you feel like you've drifted away a little more, say 3. And wait until you drift away again. Continue to do this until you've reached 10. It's important to note here that 10 might not feel the same every time. Sometimes you'll feel like you're more relaxed than usual, sometimes you'll feel like you're less relaxed than usual. Your counts of 10 will never end up feeling consistent, and that's okay. However, if you're not happy with the depth of relaxation that you reach at 10, feel free to rewind a little bit, starting at 5 or even 2, until you reach the deep level of relaxation that you desire. If you're still having difficulty reaching a deeper state of relaxation, consider using these numbers to represent parts of your body, relaxing them in any kind of orderly sequence that you choose. However, you will eventually be so good at moving from C1 to focus 10 that you won't even need this sequence. If you'd like to return from focus 10 to C1, all you have to do is count backwards from 10. In case of an emergency return to C1, all you need to do is think of and move a part of your body. This should immediately bring you back. The next section is instructions on how to create an EBT or energy bar tool. The purpose of an EBT is to stimulate and focus on non-physical energy. Visualize or think of a red dot of light. Then turn it into a bar and charge it with a brilliant white light of energy. You can then practice working with your EBT by changing it into different colors, turning it on and off, and even changing the speed at which it moves. And now we've reached how to create or use a living body map, or LBM. To do this, you want to make sure that you're totally out of C1 and completely in focus 10. Next, create a silhouette of a body using bright white lines. Then you want to change the colors of the lines to represent the following physical areas. Blue is the nervous system, red is the circulatory system, orange is the muscle and bone structure, yellow is the organs and glandular system, and white is the composite of all the systems in the body. Now that you've created this LBM, place it over your own body, looking for any dim or flickering areas. And then charge these dimly lit areas with your EBT using a purple, aka healing light. The next section is called To Balance, Cleanse, and Recharge Your EBM, or Emotional Body Map. Located behind the living body map is the emotional body map, which is also finer and thinner than the LBM. Using the purple light from your EBT again, you want to go in and charge any dim or flickering places on your emotional body map as well. If you find any part of the emotional body map unusually bright, pull out your purple EBT light again to equalize this bright part with the rest of the body, making the light coming from you bright, strong, and serene. Okay, now we're getting to the really fun stuff. This next section is called To Perceive Distant Events and People, Remote Viewing. But you're gonna have to wait to learn how to do this. I'll see you next week for the Black Vault Files Part 3, and then the week after that for Part 2 of this Gateway Intermediate Workbook series. Thanks for watching.